Over the past 2 decades, the expanded Public Works program has been a cornerstone of hope and development, transforming lives and landscapes across South Africa.
The EPWP is a nationwide program that seeks to create work opportunities, particularly for the youth, in order for them to have income and be able to contribute to what the program of government is, as it is designed to uplift and assist those that have not been exposed into the working environment.
The expanded Public Works program covers 4 sectors: infrastructure, non-state sector to look beyond public funding, environment and culture, and social.
Today, we celebrate the journey of the EPWP, reflecting on its profound impact while looking ahead to a future of sustained empowerment and innovation. From its inception in 2004, the EPWP has embarked on a mission to uplift and unite, providing work opportunities for the unemployed and paving the way for a brighter future for millions.
The program has been looking at the creation of work opportunities through the use of labor-intensive methods. Over the 20 years, we've had a number of changes in the different phases. In phase 1, our focus was to ensure that every work opportunity had training, but we found out that that wasn't quite possible because we did not have adequate budget. So in phase 2, the program was adjusted to ensure that training is done on particular programs where it makes a difference in implementation. Also in phase 2, the economic sector, which was a standalone sector in phase 1, was removed, and then we had enterprise development as a cross-cutting function in the different sectors of EPWP. In phase 2, we also had introduction of the non-state sector, and then in phase 3, we continued with the objectives of phase 2, but we had a bigger target in terms of the program. In phase 3, our target was 6 million work opportunities, vis-a-vis the 4.5 million work opportunity target that we had in phase 2. And then in phase 4, what was the emphasis in phase 4 was to look at assets, the creation of assets and services as being part of what we're interested in addition to the work opportunities. So those are some of the nuances and changes that we've seen over the years in EPWP, but our focus has been on the creation of work opportunities. That has not changed through different public bodies, and then with partnership with the non-state sector or NPO organizations.
And it talked to massification, involving more women, involving more youth. So I would say in that aspect of EPWP, what is going well is that it's growing, not just in terms of numbers, but it is growing in terms of understanding around various government departments to say they can all contribute towards EPWP. So therefore, I think that's one area where I think it's going well, where the numbers are increasing. Remember, the stipend that participants receive assist in terms of them being able, in the first instance, they get an opportunity to be exposed in a work environment, but in the main, the stipend help in terms of them putting food on the table. And for some, you would realize that they've even been able to start their own businesses out of that stipend that they received from EPWP.
When the program started, it was mainly to give participants some life skills training and training them on skills that were related to the work that they were doing on the projects.
Behind every project lies a story of transformation. Stories of individuals whose lives have been reshaped through skills development, employment, and the spirit of community.
One time we were profiling EPWP participants who were constructing a road in Botshabelo, a free state in South Africa. And we met a councillor who narrated to us a story of how there were 23 young people tormenting, stealing, robbing the community. And she told us how she went to their hideout, found them with weapons, and somehow she was oblivious to the fact that her life was in danger going to the hideout of these criminals. But she went in and asked them boldly, can you guys tell us what we can do for you to stop robbing the community? People are tired of being robbed by you guys. And the answer they gave was astounding.
As a community leader responsible for everything in my ward, I have a group of youngsters who were doing wrong things. They were with weapons, sitting with knives, going into others' house, breaking their house.
They were robbing people, especially after they had earned their grant money on month ends, the elderly who depend on grant money. And he said they used to rob these people because they were the easy targets to pick on. But since joining the EPWP, he stopped robbing people, and he was now able to feed himself and also support his dependents, his mother and his girlfriends. And on top of that, he even had acquired a qualification, a certificate.
EPWP project came to this ward and I became so excited because I can assure you there is no instability in the ward as from that day up until now.
Pele ke sebetsa kontrakeng ena ya EPWP, ke ne ke fetsa batho, ke nka dipashe tsa batho ha ba tswa go gola, ha ba wota ga ba ntela ntho tsa bona. Ke na le bana ba babedi, ene dikgaitsi tsa ka ke tsenana batho ba ile go ja ba support-a. Sale ke tsena construction mona e tshintshile bophelo ba ka, a ke sana nako against ka bo ke nna yo ke lo utswa hape kapo ke lo tshwara batho po hape e tshintshile bophelo ba ka ba ke mona no tjena ke khona ho patala di-account, ke khona ho nka dintho, ke fumane certificate sa ka, and ke na le tsebonyane e nngwe e itseng.
Khona lo security washman umgcinene Ndlalembe uyineighbor pha kum besokola kakhulu kodwa ke apha ke kule ngingqi kwazilali kuba ke into zatshintsha ngothenga inkomo kudala uzibona uba le ndawo usebenza kuyo noko ibhetele ndimbone ke umgcine ethe imoto private.
As it evolved, the EPWP has embraced innovation, adapting to South Africa's changing needs and global trends, ensuring sustainable development and environmental stewardship.
Ufika kwethu apha kwakuqhuma kakhulu kangangoba uthi bangaboneke impahla zibe nothuli olubomvu zibe mdaka. Uthi bangabuye eteksini ufike sewumdaka nalapha eteksini. Nasendlini kungena uthuli kube bomvu akukliniki. Umehluko omkhulu kakhulu. Uyakwazi noneka impahla ungabi nathuli. Nasendlini kubhetele kakhulu. Yenze umehluko kakhulu. Besidlala lapha ethulini nansi abantwana bagule ke ngoba benezilonda. Yenze umehluko kakhulu.
Voor ik bij municipaliteit gewerkt heb, was ik bij de huis geweest. 5 jaar, ik heb die weg gekregen. Nou wat ik weer, nou zorg ik voor mijn kind.
Looking forward, the EPWP is committed to creating sustainable exit pathways. By emphasizing skills scalability, future employability, and enterprise development, we aim to ensure participants do not return to the poverty they left behind, but move towards self-sufficiency and success. From participants to community pillars, these success stories exemplify the EPWP's enduring legacy. Some individuals who joined the program since its inception are now thriving, showcasing the transformative power of sustainable exit strategies.
At the moment, we are designing a strategy for the exit of those beneficiaries. Some of them have been absorbed by those companies, they are in employment, but those that are capable of establishing their own enterprises have actually done so, and they are able to take some of the beneficiaries that participated in the program.
Ngingakangeni EPWP ngisebenze efemini eMasonite Escort kwathi emveni kwalokho ngaboshwa 2005 July ngagwetshwa u-life sentence ngaphuma sengihlale 11 years ngo-2016 March 23 ngabe sengingena ngo-2017 kule program lawu EPWP okuyiyona eyangisiza kakhulu empilweni yami engakhile ngafunda umsebenzi kwazi kwabe sikuba isikhathi sokuthi-ke ngo-2021 ngavula-ke owami-ke manje umsebenzi la ngabe sengiqasha khona senginabasebenzi abayisithupha njenganamanje sikuwona umsebenzi engiwenza engifunde khona la ngaphakathi. Ibhizinisi ngiqale ngingedwa ngisebenza kwabe ngasebenza-ke nomunye ngamfundisa umsebenzi ngakwazi ukuthi ngiqhubeke ngithathe nomunye owesibili kuze kufinyelele kulabantu abayisithupha ukuthi ngikwazi ukuthi ngisebenze nabo engithemba ukuthi-ke namanje kuzoqhubeka ngigcina abasebenzi sebebaningi nabasizakalayo.
I was depending on the social grant. Now I'm working as a EPWP. I'm happy for the work. Every month I can get the salary as an independent woman.
Since finishing school, this is my first job. I never worked with a machine before. So at least I've gained a bit of experience. So maybe if I go to a firm whereby they need someone who can work with the machine, I can apply for the job.
In some cases, the participants can be equipped with business skills and graduated from the program as commercial enterprises or cooperatives.
One day, I'm gonna buy my own machine and make bricks at home.
400 participants in the EPWP received training on various trade areas: boiler maker, your diesel mechanic, your artisans, your fitter antenna. Those kind of skills were provided to some of the EPW participants. They have since exited, and many of them have gone over to start their own businesses. Some have taken over to do further training, and some were employed, some were absorbed in the companies where they were provided with training.
As we embark on this next phase, the EPWP stands as more than a program. It is a promise of growth, self-sufficiency, and a thriving South Africa where every citizen is empowered to achieve their potential.
We learned how to make a foundation before you lay a pipe. We learned plumbing skills, how to run your own business, how to hire people, what compliance you need to have.
I've learned how to analyze drawings, what are the contract requirements that are needed for the contractor, legal requirements. Now my knowledge now is on another level.
The Construction Industry Development Board, CIDB, is a major stakeholder in the development of contractors in South Africa.
The CIDB grades contractors in terms of their capability to undertake projects and then also in terms of the class of construction works in which they would want to work. Contractors are graded from grade 1, which is the entry level, up until grade 9. The grade 1 companies are mainly one-person show, whilst the grade 9 companies are mainly listed companies.
When you are a grade 1, you struggle to get to upper grades, and I felt the EPWP learnership program was an opportunity for me to upgrade to upper grades. I joined in 2015. I was grade 6 when I exited the program.
Our Construction Industry Development Board, when we joined, was grade 2, and then we exited at grade 6.
In Limpopo province, the CIDB has got about 6,000 contractors that are actively registered. With regards to EPWP learner contractors, they are growing faster than the industry rate because they do have support in terms of training and mentorship.
20 years of the EPWP is a testament to collective effort and the spirit of our nation. Together, we celebrate the past achievements and embrace the future challenges, continuing to empower lives, building communities, and strengthening our nation.
the chief takeaway for me in terms of the implementation of EPWP as well as the results, I think it's just the exposure to the different levels and lives that are led by Black people. EPWP in its nature is so labor intensive, and when you get to experience and see other young people and women that are working in such a program, that just changes your outlook in life. So I think from a management perspective, where you're managing such a program, it really just shapes your character, I think, for the better. And I think that's just been my personal takeaway in terms of my involvement with the program.
In the 2 years I've been with the EPWP, one of my highlights is getting to see South Africa as a whole. I've been to places that I never knew existed. Seen small towns that are not in the map and how the other people live. That's one of my highlights. The challenges of working under the communications unit is having to always be available. You can wake up and they'll tell you that you're traveling tomorrow, you have to go cover this event, you have to go profile this project. So you have to be ready for traveling.
One of my highlights was when the former DDG took us to Bloemfontein for a community outreach program. And the year 2007, I was pregnant with my daughter at that stage. So yes, we went to the taxi ranks and we went also to Tabanshu, one of those areas where we would give out pamphlets and let the community know about EPWP.
I have two highlights with regard to the EPWP that I want to share with them. The first one is a personal one. I went on ILO training in Turin, and that really opened a world to me in terms of public employment programs and related knowledge. That was a huge experience. The other wonderful experience that I want to share with you is that in the recent year or two, we have been joined by very, very well qualified young statisticians, people with background in analysis. And I think this is really going to help the program going forward in terms of analyzing the wealth of performance and other related information to improve our implementation.
One of the most memorable moments for me was having the then Deputy President, the current President of South Africa, presiding over the Public Employment Interministerial Committee. That was a big moment. And for him to visit projects in some of the provinces, specifically he was visiting the road maintenance program in KwaZulu-Natal, the Zibambele program, and to see him in a ditch doing clearing of work with the participants was a moment that stood out for me.
In the years that I've been with EPWP, my highlights were visiting the projects, getting to interact with participants, getting those feedbacks that maybe many don't believe in, that the program maybe is not doing much, but the testimonies that we get from participants on the ground, confirming that indeed government is doing a lot for them, they appreciate the program. To me, that was a biggest highlight, to see that what we are doing is indeed touching people's lives.
One of the exemplary situations that you observe when you come to see these construction sites is the relationship between the military and the civilians. These military guys, I never saw any one of them carrying a gun. They are working together with the community. One of the commanders actually told us that one time there was a child going to school who lost her shoes crossing the river. And as they were working nearby, they felt pity for the child and they contributed money to buy shoes for this child. Incidentally, I was communicating with some residents who live near the bridge, and one of them, without me prompting, mentioned how grateful she was that the military bought shoes for her grandchild. So indeed, the story was verified.
We got funding from Department of Labour. We have received support from the construction SITA. We received funding, I think, towards phase 3. We got funding from Mersita, and currently we are working with AgriSITA, still training artisans, and quite a few of them have been absorbed and they've managed to secure jobs. Currently, we have about 362 in training. About 52 of them have now qualified. So we are left with about 320 currently running with training. Most of them are at the trade test stage. And we hope that by the end of 2024 into 2025, most of them should have qualified.
I was given a target of 44 in the region, in Polokwane region. Out of the 44 target that I was given, only 2 dropped out. The 42 that I'm left with, the 32 has completed, and I'm left with only 10 that are still on training, doing the electrical training opportunity. Out of the 32 that has completed, 10 out of the 32 are now employed in different employment opportunities. I'm talking about the artisans. I'm talking about the qualified people now. You know, they were offered employment opportunities. Some of them, they are working at Medupi Power Station in South Africa. Some of them are working at Matimba. Like, you know, I'm so proud of myself, because out of all the 9 provinces, so far, I'm the only one who managed to place at least 10 artisan development participants in employment opportunities. That's someone that I can actually take and pride myself to say, well done, Kuti.
I don't know who EPWP is, but it's a big program. But if I knew the owner of EPWP, I'd definitely go to him and give him a handshake. I just want to say thank you to EPWP for helping me get to where I am now. EPWP opened doors for me, man. In a way that I didn't think something was going to happen. That's just how I feel every time I see that. Most people think EPWP is just cleaning grasses on the sides and stuff like that, but that's not really what it's all about. It gives you hope when you're hopeless. Right now where I am, I don't know how to call my mom and ask her for money. You know, I'm by myself.
Some of the highlights since I've been here in EPWP, first of all, it was traveling, because when I joined the department, I was an intern. So my first flight that I took was within the EPWP.
So we are getting very good support from private sector. Obviously, through the support from the SITAs, we've managed to strike a relationship with the agriculture SITA. Through that partnership, they've managed now to extend the relationship to private sector, and private sector has managed to absorb some of our learners so that they can now do the apprenticeship training.
If there was no EPWP, or EPWP were to be terminated by the government of South Africa, many unemployed, poor, unskilled people would suffer. In fact, we would see a revolution in the non-state sector NPO program. The department has had to negotiate extensively with very angry groups of participants who, upon termination of their contracts, could not accept it, because looking back, this is a source of living. It is a livelihood. EPWP provides livelihoods. So yeah, it would be difficult for government to face those masses that are currently benefiting in the program and those who are looking forward to participating in the program, because of how impactful it is on the people of South Africa, unemployed, poor, and unskilled. Also, the fact that the people who work, once they are involved there or they are appointed, they deliver services and outputs.
EPWP in the past has focused on creating those work opportunities, but going forward will be to look at impactful programs or projects. What impact is the project that we do through EPWP to the communities in terms of providing service delivery to community? What impact is there? If there is no impact, then it doesn't serve the community. So as we go forward, the future for me, for EPWP, is to say, for the participants to be even better in future, you need then to be clear in terms of your program of upskilling and training. What then that leads you to in future, it will lead to all the programs or projects that we do to have what we call, or what the minister is called, a exit strategy or exit plan. The numbers also in terms of quantitative going forward, you have seen the increase in terms of numbers of participants. We are hoping, and I see the future giving us more job opportunities and focusing on road maintenance, that is your cleaning and waste management, and then the other focus will be on your energy.
This journey of transformation is far from over. Join us as we continue to forge a path of development and empowerment for a better, brighter future for all South Africans.